What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we do have some pretty exciting news for Destiny 2, and this comes in the form of the first announcement for Season of the Worthy. On top of this, Empyrean Foundation has now come to a conclusion, or at least the community challenge segment of it has, and Trials of Osiris has been officially revealed for Destiny 2, so we're going to jump in this video guys, talk about what we know about Trials. Bungie have posted a new video, but also Luke Smith jumps in with some extra insights about Season of the Worthy, and a bit of a teaser for some of the stuff that we can expect to see outside of Trials. But Bungie show off a whole bunch, new weapons, pieces of gear, returning D1 Trials armor. They talk a little bit about how Trials is actually going to work, and we generally get our first insights for Season of the Worthy. So guys, as always, I hope you enjoy this video, and if you do, a rating below really helps me out. But otherwise, let's get straight into it. Now, to give context to what's going on today, initially, we should mention that the Empyrean Foundation and the community challenge associated with that has now been completed. So we've finished every single wave, and the Worthy mission does indeed pop up in the game. It's actually kind of a mission/cutscene where we actually go and light the beacon at the Lighthouse in Calaris Spires. And we can see right here, we have got a new kind of lighthouse layout, which is pretty cool. And so if you've done your 5.5k donation, you can check that out in game, but I will run that cinematic at the end of the video. It is worth mentioning though, on the subject of Empyrean Foundation, that we can still donate, farm to get god rolls, the triumphs, the title, and all of that kind of stuff until the end of the season. So there is a little bit of extra time if you still want to do anything. But seeing as this has been completed and we know that Trials is returning to the game, Bungie premiered a new Vidoc with some insights about what the returning mode will actually be like. So of course you can see some of the B-roll from that trailer right here. And to go over the kind of info that they've given us broadly, alongside Trials we will be seeing some returning PvP maps. So we're going to get the Cauldron, as well as Exodus Blue and Anomaly from back in D1. It's also worth mentioning that Trials is going to be part of the free-to-play game for Destiny 2, so that's definitely a huge positive, and it will increase kind of player numbers and everything like that. But also in the footage we can immediately see returning D1 Trials loot. And the Bungie developers said that when players go flawless, it'll actually be visible that players have gone flawless in a given week via those pieces of Trials armor. So it looks like we're going to get glows or something like that. And kind of like the Nightfall glow, it's something that you can actually renew week over week to show that you've been flawless in that given week. So, bit of a twist on the original kind of glow system. And otherwise, in terms of actual details inside of the Vidoc, they say, of course, it's going to be classic round-based elimination for the return of Trials. Lives, rounds, and entire matches, of course, are going to matter. And it sounds like it's going to be high stakes in the same way that the original Trials was. They also point out that it will be power-enabled, so power level is totally going to be important. But that alongside Trials, they'll also be bringing some pretty significant Sandbox changes into the game. Now, we'll scan through some of the footage and look at the gear and things like that better in just a moment, but Luke Smith did tweet and said, "I genuinely love Trials in Destiny. D2 needs aspirational experiences like Trials in PvP, and on the 13th of March, some of those long-missing feelings will return." And of course, it's looking like the season will begin on Tuesday, 10th of March. And so Luke Smith confirmed that Trials is going to return on the first Friday after that season drops. So that'll be Friday 13th. That'll be a pretty interesting one. But he goes on to say that Trials uses connection-based and card state matchmaking. And when you're on the cusp of visiting the new Lighthouse, and that's the one that we've built with tons of fractaline and effort, he says that they want us to be facing someone in a similar spot, so the card is designed to make us match players that are roughly at the same progress point on a card. But he finishes by saying that Bungie will have more info on Season 10 and Trials over the next few weeks. But otherwise, here's a little Season of the Worthy teaser from the team. And of course right here, we can see what appears to be some Rasputin tech, but also some very curious looking kind of pieces of armor and stuff on the table, and a Rasputin-themed sword, which looks pretty interesting. So, outside of Trials, it does look like we're going to have other PvE experiences, with Rasputin being a kind of key focus for story, but also based on that image, loot could be a thing as well. Who knows, maybe we'll see a new activity on Mars or a rework to Escalation Protocol. There's quite a lot of scope for what we could see, so we'll have to stay posted on that. Now, when we look at some of the footage from the Bungie Trials trailer, of course, we see the D1 armor right here. This is basically the OG Trials armor. And these guys are holding legendary weapons by the looks of things, which are linked to Trials. So potentially reworks of D1 weapons as well, but they do have some new kind of ornamentation and skins on them at the very least. And so we can see what looks like a pulse rifle, possibly an auto rifle and a shotgun there. So we probably will get a pretty comprehensive set of weapons. Also, it's worth mentioning right here, Sweatcicle on Twitter pointed out that this Warlock could potentially have the 4th Horseman on their back. And it does seem entirely possible because the weapon is absolutely huge for a start, but also if you look at the barrel of the weapon, I say barrel, it actually looks like you can see the outline of the 4 barrels going around. And then you can see the grip that has the 6 slots exactly the same as 4th Horseman, and that really long stock, so pretty interesting, obviously not 100% confirmed, but I'd be curious to hear what you guys think below. You'll also notice from the trailer that Saint 14 seems to actually be the handler for this mode, and so he's going to be guiding us through the experience. We see that these guys are playing with a few different pinnacle and ritual weapons from Crucible, but here we can see a new fusion rifle for Trials of Osiris, and you'll notice a character right here with a Trials emblem, so that's probably one we're going to pick up. And obviously we're seeing those reprised PvP maps once again, and interestingly the Cauldron is kind of like a Scarlet Keep version of the Cauldron, which is pretty cool. You'll also notice the dashboard, or the kind of computer terminal, from the artwork that Luke Smith posted, does look pretty similar to the terminal we can see in Anomaly here. And that's kind of curious because Anomaly, from what we know from Destiny 1 lore, does appear to be potentially associated with the pyramid ships on the moon. And so maybe we're going to see an interaction between Rasputin and whatever's been taking place on the moon, or that could be some content that it kind of leans into over time. It also looks like right here we could be looking at ornaments for exotic weapons. I'm not sure if that is an Outbreak Prime right there with a Trials ornament, or whether it's just a similar looking Rasputin kind of themed weapon. It's certainly interesting, but we can also see the glows on those armor pieces there. Presumably, that's what you get when you've been flawless on a given weekend. Really, for now though guys, that's everything that Bungie have shown us and told us about the return of Trials. So let us know what you think about it, and I will be keeping you posted here on the channel with any news updates that we get. Right here I'll run the main Vidoc section, but also that Foundation cutscene if you want to check either of them out, but give us your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you're new around here, be sure to get subscribed and turn on notifications so I can keep you up to date with everything related to the game. But otherwise, thanks for tuning in guys. It's awesome to finally have some new content to talk about, and so once again, I'll keep you posted as we get more details. But otherwise, thank you for tuning in, and I hope you have an awesome day.
Played for hours and hours and hours of threes back in the day. And then Trials came out. And Trials was our Friday night. Every week, Trials, we played. But it was this time where you're like, oh, I have this thing to look forward to. I have this thing to look forward to every week. This like sweaty, stressful, high stakes activity. And right now, we are missing that. And I know we're missing it. I know we are missing it. We are going to fix it.
Trials is back, and it's pretty insane. When we knew that Trials was coming back, the most important thing from us was to do it right. And so that means it's taken us a little while. Every single life, every single round, every single match means something in Trials, whether you win or lose.
Fight, win, fight again. This is your duty.
When you've got the best players in an arena and it's power enabled, the stakes are incredibly high.
It is a legitimate, difficult thing to be good at.
With the reintroduction of Trials of Osiris, we are really taking a look at our whole sandbox and saying, like, okay, what is the right balance of things?
We want to make sure that we really stick the landing with Trials. It's important that this doesn't go out half-baked.
We are in the playtest lab every day playing Trials, trying to get it just right. We've been working to balance the abilities, the subclasses, the weapons, the armor, to make sure it is as fun and as fair as possible. We've done a lot because it's important.
We're bringing back some amazing maps from Destiny 1, some of my favorites personally. Cauldron, Exodus Blue, and Anomaly. Some of the coolest armor and weapons from Destiny 1, in my opinion, were the Trials' original gear set, and that's coming back. And when players go flawless, those armor pieces and weapons will react in a certain way. When you see someone in the tower,
Everybody's gonna know.
everyone's gonna know that they went flawless that week.
It's just so cool to have like a pinnacle PvP activity return.
We're hearing it from the players, we feel it ourselves, and I can't wait to bring back a version of Trials that matches what we remember from back in Destiny 1.
Go. You make me proud.